So the files we're going to use for this blending are Broken Superstore and then Population 2014. They both are Excel files. So let's go ahead and connect to these two files. So Broken Superstore, so that's one file. Okay, so here is the file, here are the data columns. Okay, so orders right there. Okay, and then go back to data, new data source, and since this is also an Excel file, so we select Excel, and now population 2014. Okay, so now we have two different data sources, and you see that the tables from each source, only the tables from a given source is available to you at any given point in time. That's the reason why you cannot do join. See, if you go and select the orders database, okay, and you will see, the orders file, you will see only the table from that data source available to you. Population data source is not available, and that's the reason why you cannot do join. And then if you look at the field names, so population has a field called state, and then we have the population for that state. Okay, and the orders database has a field called state or province, right? And that is the one that has the state information. So for the automatic blending to work, okay, for the automatic blending to work, you have to first change the name of this column to just state. Okay, so we're going to rename it to state. So now at this point, the tables are separate. They have not, you cannot join them, and yet you have not blended anything. So go to sheet 1. Now see, the two data sources are showing up here. If you select the orders data source, all the dimensions for orders and all the measures for orders are displayed. If you select population, then the population, the fields from the population table show up. Okay, you can't have both of them showing up at the same time. Okay, so now we need to have a primary source and a secondary source for the blending to work. The table that you start out with, that would be your primary source. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the primary source is orders. So we're going to look at sales and state. Okay, and let's do this. Let's do a bar chart. Okay, now we're going to sort this bar chart. Okay, let's sort the state, okay, by in descending order of sales. Okay. So now suppose we want to bring in population. Okay, population is not in this table. Population is in this table. Okay. Now click the secondary source and you see that there is a link icon showing up. And that's because we now have automatic blending. the second table has a column called state that matches with a column called state in the first table. So the primary and the secondary tables have now been blended automatically. So now if you bring in population, okay, in here, so now we have one graph, bar graph for sales and one for population. Now you notice something, and which is what I was talking about earlier, that for New York we have sales but there is no population. That's because the data here comes from two different sources and the state New York is coded differently. One has it coded as NY, the other one is coded as New York, and therefore there is a problem. So when you have situations like this, you can create what are called aliases. So a particular value, you can say that it has other possible names, okay? So it's very easy to calculate, to create aliases. So you right click and say edit aliases and type in the alias you want. Okay? And you can have several of them, not just one alias. You can have NY and then new space York, or maybe even new without space York, or new underscore York. Okay, so depending upon what are the different ways in which the name has been miscoded, you can create aliases in that fashion. So now it gets matched up. Okay. Now if you want, you select the population, and if you click ABC, the values, or you show the values there. Or if you don't want, if you want values only for population, then select population and click show mark labels. These are different ways of achieving the same thing. So now population shows up.